Okay, hey guys, it's Jenna here. Welcome to the webinar. I'm so happy to have you here, and I'm really grateful that you've taken some time out of your day to come and learn about content marketing and about how I can help you really thrive online with your business. So today I'm going to teach you my 5-step formula to create blog content that converts. So the aim of the game here is to really be turning your blog readers into paying clients, into loyal followers, and just building an income online and actually, creating that lifestyle business that you all want and deserve. So I've got a lot of great info planned for you today. Before we dive in, I want to give you a quick overview of who I am. Some of you may know me and some of you may not, but I'll just let you know a little bit about my background because it's quite relevant to my journey and how I can help you now today. So I'll keep it short and sweet though, because I know you want to dive into the content. Everyone's here to learn. So my background is in digital marketing and content marketing. And I've worked in that field for a little over 8 years now, so working for different brands, different companies. And over the past few years, I was working as head of e-commerce and marketing for a top Australian fashion brand, actually. And it was a crazy journey. I learned a lot. I was thrown in the deep end. And I really had this job that many people perceived to be, the best thing out there. My friends were quite jealous of the travel and the parties and, all the stuff that came with the job. But underneath it all, I just wasn't that satisfied, and I knew I wasn't really being aligned with who I am, and I wasn't really living my true self, I guess. So towards the end of 2013 I came to the realization that I needed a change. And, whilst I loved working in digital marketing, I still love it today. I just didn't connect with the atmosphere of the role, so I just knew I wanted to go out there. I knew I wanted to create my own business. And I wasn't sure initially what I wanted to do, but I knew I was being pulled into the world of health and wellness because for a few reasons. I had my own health issues, and I also just kind of geek out on that stuff. I love all health and nutrition. So, I went searching for a job in this field, and then I stumbled across health coaching. And I have to say, it was one of those aha moments where you go, oh, that's it. That's what I want to be doing with my life. So I enrolled at a health coaching school. And I think a few of my fellow peers are on this call. So hello, anyone from IIN. And I studied for a year last year in 2014 while still working at my corporate job. So I was kind of hustling and bustling. It was hectic. It was crazy busy, but I was really driven to make it happen. And I started working on the side with some freelance clients, and I was helping them with their content marketing and their branding. And on the side, I was building my online health coaching business. And as you can see, I eventually quit my job end of last year. So I've just been working for myself the last few months. And I set out to run my health coaching business, and I was super excited to be working for myself. And I just felt really free. So I set out there end of last year, and I kept my freelance clients. I was helping them with their content marketing and their social media. And I soon started to realize that this side of the business, the content marketing side, was just growing like crazy. And the health coaching side just wasn't growing as much as I would have hoped or thought that it would. And so it's really brought me to this point now, actually a few weeks ago, when I've realized, okay, I love digital marketing and branding. I really do. And I love coaching. So how can I blend the two together? And that's where I'm at today. I've blended my coaching practice and my content marketing practice. And I now mentor other coaches and solopreneurs with their own content marketing and their branding and their online management. And a lot of the work that I do is with health coaches and lifestyle coaches, because obviously that's my background. That's kind of my real passion. So yeah, it's been an awesome journey so far, and that's a little bit about where I've come from and where I am today. And I can honestly say I feel so much more aligned now, and I feel a lot more grateful that I've come to this realization and that I'm doing the work that I really enjoy doing. So yeah, so let's dive straight into the webinar. I'm really happy to be bringing you this webinar because I've noticed for many years working in digital marketing that one of the biggest struggles is creating content that actually converts your readers into paying clients or into your followers. I've seen many coaches and solopreneurs just get stuck with creating content. They feel like it's too much hassle, or maybe they spend hours writing a blog post and no one reads it, which I've been there before and it totally sucks. Or maybe they don't know how to get traffic and they feel like it's just a constant struggle to find clients. And yeah, I know it. I've been through that before. And it's usually due to being misaligned with your work, and or your branding and your marketing's just off somehow. So you're not talking to the right people in the right way. And so that's what I do with my work, is to try and get you realigned through content marketing and through digital marketing. So I'm here to help you out, and today I think you're going to really benefit from the advice that I share in this webinar. Okay, so I also just want to give you the encouragement to get really active with content marketing. I genuinely believe this is the key to building trust and loyalty with your readers, and it's the key to building your online income as well. So I'm going to dive straight into the content here. I know it's going to be really beneficial for you. And don't worry if you missed some of this webinar or you didn't get to make it. Don't worry, I'm recording it so you can come back anytime and listen to it. So, okay, when I was thinking about what to cover for the webinar, I wanted to really focus on creating content that converts. But then I thought, okay, let's get more specific and let's focus on blog content. And the reason for this is because blog content is by far the most popular content marketing format out there. And I know most of you, if not all of you, probably already have a blog, so it's going to be more aligned with you. And in saying that, this formula, the 5-step formula, is something that I've worked on for years with over the years and with past clients. And it can actually be applied to any type of content marketing. So it's really flexible. You can apply it to your YouTube videos, or your social media posts, or your newsletters. The formula can kind of go with you wherever you go, which is the awesome part. Okay, so I'm just going to take a quick sip of water. Everyone settled in. We're going to dive straight into step 1. Oh, and also while I go through the steps, you'll notice after each step, I'm going to give you some action points, because I know that many webinars are not very interactive and you kind of listen to it and then you go away and you don't really do much. I want you guys to take action. So I've included action points and I'll email these to you as well after the webinar. So that you can go through and actually take action on each step and make sure that it works for your business. Okay, so let's dive into step 1. So step 1 is to add relevancy for your reader. So let's start from the start. Say you want to write a brand new blog and you've got a bunch of ideas that you think would be interesting. So before you start writing one of these blogs, I want you to take a moment to really think about how relevant the idea or the topic is for your reader. Okay, so you might like it yourself, but is it relevant for your reader? You've probably heard the term write for your reader before, but this is honestly one of the most important things that you can do to create awesome blog content. So when you're creating content, you really have to appeal to your readers' needs, concerns, and issues if you actually want to convert them. Now that is really an important part, okay? So yeah, write for your reader, deal with them directly about what their needs, concerns, and issues are, and you're going to be much more likely to convert them into a follower or a client. So how can you add this relevancy? So it all comes back to knowing your target audience. Now, I know the whole target audience thing can get a little bit repetitive, but that's because it's really crucial, I believe, for your business. And I want you to get to really know your audience and your readers directly. So here's how you can do this. You can actually just ask them. I get asked this question all the time. How do I find out my target audience? What do they want? How do I know what they want to buy or read about? Just go ask them, honestly, because what's holding you back? I used to be held back and I used to be scared of going and asking people directly. But then once I started talking to people on a human level and chatting to them, I just got so much more from it, and I got so much more feedback in a quick amount of time, straight to the source. So ask them directly what they need, and then consider, if they had 1 hour of your time, what would they ask you? What would they want to know? And what would they pick your brain about? Okay? So this is a really good way to get to know your target audience. So brainstorm these ideas. I want you to write down what comes from these conversations that you have. And then I also suggest writing down 10 questions, concerns, or frustrations that your target reader has. So these ideas are really going to form the basis of your blog content as well. And it's a great way, if you're ever stuck for blog ideas, I always do this. I just go, hold on, what would the reader want me to help them with? What are their issues? What are their needs and questions? Okay. So the second part of adding relevancy for your reader is to root your content in reality. So we get stuck in the online world, I found, and after working 8 years in online, it's definitely a real thing where you kind of forget about everything that happens in the real world, and you forget that there's real people behind computer screens. So I want you to ask yourself, what events are happening in the offline world that might be relevant to your reader? Okay, so keep in mind any holidays or special events coming up, and anything else that your reader could possibly be thinking about in their real offline worlds. So not only does this increase the chance of engagement, but it increases how personable your business comes across. And of course, in turn, this increases the trust between the reader and yourself, and that leads to sales, okay? And just a brainstorming point actually while I think of it. The offline world right now, if you're thinking of events that are coming up, one of the biggest ones right now is that we've just gone into a new season. So are there any topics that could be around that you could make around the changing of a new season that might fit your blog style and are relevant to your reader? Just think about that. Just be on it. Keep looking at the calendar. Keep thinking about what's happening offline. Okay? And this is a big point here that I've just put down. Remember that people want to work with people. Okay? They don't want to work with brands. So keep everything genuine and relevant to your audience. Make it relevant to their lives, and you'll honestly be building a loyal fan base in no time. And another tip here, just for adding relevancy, is to think about your readership levels. So think about where your reader is in their journey. So are your readers mostly beginners to your industry topic, or are they intermediate, or maybe they're advanced? Make sure that you're looking at the majority of your readers and where they're coming from and what kind of knowledge level they have about what you're teaching in your blog, and make sure that you're keeping it relevant to them. Keep it relevant to their journey and what stage they're at in life. That's really important. Okay, and a lot of people overlook that, but I think it's actually really vital. So here are your action points for step 1. So adding relevancy for your reader. So again, I'm going to email you these points after the webinar, so don't worry, you'll get them if you don't want to write them down. Okay, so the first one is to list 10 questions, concerns, or frustrations that your target reader has. And the second point is to create an editorial plan for the next month and just note down any specific events or holidays that your readers might be involved with. And then you can assign relevant blog topics that are aligned with these events and make sure they're relevant to the reader, of course. Don't just make something if it's in the calendar, okay? So they're your action points for step 1. Okay, we're going to go straight into step 2 now. Okay, step 2, and this is one of my favorites because there's so much you can do with it, is use emotion to motivate. Okay, so basically this is about poking the pressure points in your reader. So using emotion and really talking genuinely to your reader's heart is really key to converting them further. And you want to be enticing the reader, you want to be moving them, inspiring them to act further and to actually really trust you as well. Okay, and this all comes back to using emotion to motivate. So the goal with great blog content is to encourage someone to desire more. We often don't use that word, but desire is such a key part of like converting people from readers to followers. You want to instill that sense of desire that makes the reader go from just reading to really wanting to know more. They want to get to know you further. They want to see how you can help them. Okay, so that's like a really, really important part of the puzzle. And there are 2 key ways that you can use emotion to motivate. The first is self-improvement content. So this could be called a number of different things, but I like to call it self-improvement content. And by this I mean creating blog content that will help solve your readers' concerns or frustrations. So you should be asking yourself always, how is this going to improve their life? How can I help my reader out? And I want you to focus on what keywords you can use to encourage them to take action and actually make the improvement. So, yeah, I read blogs all the time and it's got inspiring content out there, but it takes a lot for me to go, actually, I'm going to take action. I'm going to do this. I'm going to improve my life. So how can you use certain words and emotions to motivate your reader to do that? So it's important here to learn to sell the benefits and the outcomes of your content rather than getting burrowed under the nitty-gritty details of what or how something happens, okay? So this is a huge point. Always focus on the why. So the reader wants to know why they should take further action, okay? So what's in it for them? How are you going to help improve their life if they convert further? And a helpful tip here actually is to bring the self-improvement aspect into your blog titles. So your blog title is really important to grabbing the attention of your reader. And when you're writing a blog that focuses on self-improvement and helping your reader make a change in their life, you should really use a title that talks directly to them with emotion. So an example, because I know there's a lot of health coaches on this call, so I'm going to use you guys as an example. If you're writing a post on getting a better night's sleep, your title for the blog should use emotion and the self-improvement aspect to encourage someone to click it and read it. So the title could be, Feeling Lethargic? Here are 5 ways to boost your energy and power through the day. Okay, so this title uses benefits and outcomes of the content to talk to the reader's emotions, and it focuses on improving their life. So yeah, I want you to get really creative and focus on self-improvement and focus on the why. Always focus on the why. That's going to make the reader go from just reading to going, hell yeah, I want to click this. I want to read more. I want to know more about this person. Okay. All right. Step 2 in using emotion to motivate is to reduce anxiety. This is just a quick point, but it's actually something that a lot of bloggers overlook. And think about this. If you're a reader to a blog, you don't want to feel stressed out or confused. You want to feel like, oh, okay, the world's back on track. This is helping me. I feel like my frustration's being answered. You want to reduce the anxiety and you want to almost eliminate the anxiety. So you can do this by, giving your reader a sense of security, peace, and trust. And just be that supportive person that helps solve problems and helps your reader just reduce the anxiety or reduce their issues about making a decision. Just make it easy for them. Again, this comes back to using emotion to motivate, and it comes back to building trust and loyalty with your readers. Okay? So reduce anxiety, just let it be peaceful, guide them through, and you're going to be much more likely to have them convert. Okay, so your action points for step 2. The first one is to list 10 emotion-driven keywords that you can use in your next blog post to entice your reader to desire and convert further. So get really creative and think about what words would make you go, ooh, that's interesting. I want to click on that and I want to read that. And the second point is to write 2 blog titles that focus on the benefits or the outcomes of the blog content. And again, I'm going to email you these points so you can use them. Okay. I think we're going quite quickly here, but that's okay. Time is money. So, okay, step 3 is to build value and trust. So this is a crucial part of creating blog content that converts. It's the key to turning a reader into a paying customer. And, talking about relevancy before and using emotion to motivate, this step, building value and trust, is really the thing that ties it all together, okay? So this is really crucial. And you want to be giving your readers value and you want to be building that trust. Otherwise, they're just not going to want to work with you. It's that simple. So I know there are a few coaches on the call again, and I want to use you guys again as an example. So, okay, I want you to think about this example. So say you have there's a client that wants to hire a health coach, and she's doing her research. She's like getting to know a couple of coaches online, and she's reading their blogs and she's following them on social media, and she knows that she really wants to hire someone, but she's a little bit hesitant because she's just figuring out what's the best option. She's going to spend some money, so she wants to make the right choice. What's her decision going to be? It's pretty simple. The client is going to choose the coach that she trusts the most and the coach that's given her valuable nuggets of advice and inspiration. So building trust and giving value should really be your top priority, okay? So now I'm going to teach you how you can actually do this and how you can build trust and add value into your blog content. So the first place to start is by walking your talk and representing you. And I know you've probably heard this a lot, but I'm just going to nail it in further. It really is important to be representing your best self online, being really true to yourself, representing what your business is focused on, if it's you as a person or your services, like who are you, put your best foot forward, just be really transparent and honest. Personally, it took me a while to get the hang of that. I used to kind of hide behind other brand names and such, but now I've realized, you know what, I'm just going to represent me and just put my face forward and my best foot forward, and it's really been the best decision that I've made. So I encourage you to do the same thing. So yeah, reflecting your core values and your personality is really important, and just, be clear about what you represent in your blog and your website and your branding. What are you all about? Don't hold back at all. And another thing here is that people see straight through it when you are holding back and when you are covering things up. So if you really want to build that trust and value, always just be true to yourself and to your business. The next part here in building value and trust is to get real and be human and connect. So, it sounds simple, but I've seen a million businesses and coaches trying to hide behind the facade, which I just mentioned I've done myself, so I totally understand it. You try to hide and go, oh, I don't want to put myself out there. I'm a bit scared of what people are going to think of me. But when you do this, the reader really just loses interest because they don't feel like there's a real connection, or they don't feel like there's even a real person there. It's easy to get into that digital world of living behind a computer screen. So just be out there, just put yourself out there. And a good way to overcome this is to just try and bring a sense of community and realness into your blog content. So, you can do this by asking questions, be engaging and communicative, and make sure that you carry this on into your social media as well. It's very important to have a holistic approach to how you market yourself online. Talk to your audience and just create that sense of community with them directly. And you know what? They are eventually going to build a trust with you that is so powerful that they're going to convert into loyal followers and clients. So like I've mentioned before, people want to work with people, not with brands, okay? That's really important. So build that value and trust just by being you. It's literally the most powerful thing that you can do. And finally, don't be afraid to give to your reader. There's my point. PowerPoint was confusing me then. So don't be afraid to give knowledge and valuable content to your reader. Don't hold back on being a voice of inspiration and knowledge at all. You should be out there. Blogging your valuable and inspirational content might seem a little bit scary, but here's the thing. You might think you're giving it away for free, but you're actually not. I believe that you are building the stepping stones for your audience to build that loyalty and trust with you and eventually decide to work with you. So always add value and just be someone who others gravitate towards when they need inspiration, they need honest advice, they have a question or a concern that they need an answer for. Just be that person forefront that is there to help them, okay? So just think about how can you add value into your blog? Just go that extra mile with research, go that extra mile with love-filled posts. Like, make sure your posts have that can't say no aspect where people are just going to be wowed by it and people are going to spread it around and share it with their friends. So think about how you can create a blog that really offers something new and interesting to the reader as well. And you want to make them go, wow, that really enlightened me, or I didn't know that. I'm so glad I've read this blog. I'm going to come back again. And just think outside the box with your blog ideas. And you know what? You're really going to find that people flock towards you as you're going to be positioning yourself as a person of influence and as an expert in your field. And that's really important. If you can put yourself online and have that kind of persona, which is a natural persona because you should be proud of the work you're doing, people are going to flock to you like mad and they'll be converting in no time, okay? So for your action points, there's some extra points I forgot. So yeah, going the extra mile with your blog content and really adding value that is amazing and that people don't want to miss out on at all, okay? So your action points for this step for building value and trust. Okay, so these are really good actually, because these are simple ways to just get the ball rolling. So I want you to list 3 ways that you can add value into your next blog post. Okay, so again, think about cool ways that you can engage, cool content formats that you can use, topics that maybe no one else has really thought about, or maybe you put a different twist on a topic. Everyone's covered how to quit sugar, but how can you add that into a different way that people are going, oh, I haven't read that, I want to know that. Okay, and then the next point is to list 5 ways that you can communicate and engage with your audience to build trust with them directly. So I'm talking here a bit more holistically, so you can bring this into your blog and you can ask questions, you can encourage them to comment at the end, you can encourage them to sign up to your newsletter or to read another blog as well, or you can actually bring this into social media, which is really an awesome way to engage further and in live time as well. So how can you build engagement and community on social media? Maybe you want to host a Facebook group, maybe you want to run a Google Hangout and chat to people directly, or maybe you just want to get really good at just talking to people straight away, like answering them straight away when people comment and like your posts. Just shock them by being actually real and human and being there. And yeah, you're guaranteed to build really loyal clients and followers. Okay, I'm just going to take another sip of water while you dwell on that step 3. Okay, let's go into step 4. Alrighty, step 4 is to eliminate distractions and give clarity. So far in the webinar, I've spoken a lot about the approach and the mentality behind great blog content that converts. So my last 4 steps here, step 4 and 5, actually focus a bit more specifically on your blog itself and specific aspects of the blog. Okay, so step 4 again is to eliminate distractions and give clarity. So this comes back to simplifying things down and being really niche with your target audience. You really don't want to confuse the reader or give them too many options, okay? So this is where you lose conversions if the reader's path is really unclear on the blog and they're kind of thrown in a million places at once. They're not going to sign up because they won't know how to, or they'll just get annoyed because you've flustered them with too many options. So your blog content should really focus on a single ask rather than multiple requests at once. So think about your landing pages. You're going to increase conversions if you guide readers along the path that you want them to take. So just keep them from getting sidetracked along the way. Essentially, you are guiding the reader to where you want them to go, okay? So this applies to your blog, absolutely. Just going to have to guide them through and eliminate the distractions along the way. Yeah, you also want to make it very clear what the end goal of the blog is. So adding this clarity will help guide the reader to converting. Okay, so let's go through. So before I share my simple blog creation process with you, I just want to speak about further how you can eliminate distractions and add clarity. In order to write content that increases the awareness of your brand, you do need to write content that benefits your reader rather than content that just informs them, okay? So just always keep that in mind. Always think about the benefits, guide them through the journey. Don't just write a blog informing them about something with no call to action or no emotion behind it, because no one wants to read that. There's so much stuff out there that's amazing on the internet. They're going to go somewhere else, okay? So you got to keep them interested. So I want to simplify it down for you because I know there's a lot of information in this webinar and I don't want you to get confused and not take action. I want you to really take action on it. So I'm going to share a really simple blog creation process that guides the reader to converting. And this is something that I use in my blogs. It's something I've used with clients before, and it's just simple and it's easy and yeah, it's awesome. So, okay. The first thing to do is to introduce your topic. Okay, so you've got your brand new blog, you've got your title that's awesome and that's emotion filled. And then the first thing in the blog is you're going to introduce your topic so people know what they're there to learn or read about. Then you're going to explain how it affects your reader. Okay, so you're going to again focus on the why and the benefits, and you're going to use emotion here. So what is this going to give them? How's their life going to change? The next point is to explain your recommendations to them. So, okay, I think we often get caught in these huge blog posts that are very detailed, and then you're advising people what they should do, but it's not very clear. I, for one, love a bullet point. I love something that's really simple but effective. That's what I've tried to do today in the webinar for you. So I think when you're explaining your recommendations, there should be an area of the blog where it's quite clear. It's, here's how you can create so-and-so, or here's how you can implement this in your life now. Bullet points, make it really simple, make it a step process if that's easier as well. Just make it really clear for them, okay? And tell them how they should approach the topic or issue based on your experience and your knowledge, okay? The next point for the blog creation process is to discuss how you think this issue will affect your reader in the future. So if they decide to convert or click your call to action, how is this going to change their life? What effect will it have? So again, we're going back to the emotion, we're going back to selling the benefits and the outcomes. Always sell the benefits and the outcomes. And again, we're focusing on the why. So why should they do this? What are they going to gain from converting and from learning more about you, or from buying a product from you or a service, okay? And finally, of course, you've got to finish with relevant email-gated content as the article's call to action. So that might sound confusing to you, but email-gated content is just your newsletter sign-up form or a link to sign up to your newsletter, which has a relevant call to action that relates to the blog topic, okay? So just keep it really simple. This process is simple, it's really effective, and it really helps guide the reader from start to finish without distractions, okay? So you're showing them what to do next, and basically that's to either convert to sign up to your newsletter, which I believe you should have your newsletter sign up after every blog, because why not? If someone scrolled to the end of the blog post, they've read it all, they're much more likely to sign up there. And also including a call to action, if you like, about a product or a service within that blog as well, okay? But the main point here is to basically simplify things down. Don't waffle on in the post unless the waffling is entirely relevant to the topic, but just always think about the reader and think about how they are going to consume the content, okay? People tend to skim blog posts and content online, so they basically look for relevant subheadings, they look for bullet points, they look for the key parts of the blog. So keep this in mind when you're compiling it, because not everyone is going to read every single word. That's a fact. A lot of people skim. I skim. And I find that if you have relevant subheadings and relevant bullet points and key parts pulled out, and you're going to guide them really easily, that is going to be gold for you, okay? So make sure you do that. All right, and now we've got your action points. So I went too far. Sorry. Okay, so take action on step 4. So again, we're eliminating distractions and we're giving clarity. And the action point here is just one point. It's to implement the blog guide process that I just took you through into your next blog. And I will email this to you after the webinar, so you have it on file and you can print it off and just make sure that that's your little checklist every time you create a blog or a new piece of content. You can apply it to anything, really. You can apply it to your YouTube account, you can apply it to your social media, you can apply it to your newsletters. Just make sure that you keep it in mind whenever you're creating new content. Okay, so step 5 God, we're at the last step. How did that happen? Okay, so step 5 is to add urgency and calls to action. So basically, without going over the top, your goal with your blog should really be to add a subtle sense of urgency into your copy. And this should be coupled with a call to action so that the reader is driven to act and they're motivated to work with you further. And a lot of people get scared of doing this, but it's actually really effective. And if it's subtle, it won't harm anything. You know, you're not going to scare people away. Okay, so how can you do this? So let's look here. Okay, so I want you to think of this approach as the fear of missing out. This sense of peer pressure or subtle urgency really talks directly to the reader. And it really instills that sense of desire within them. Again, that word desire comes up, for them to take action. So even if the blog or your call to action isn't actually urgent, which I doubt it is, meaning it's just sign up to my newsletter or buy my product. It's not an urgent call to action, but your titles and your calls to action should actually play on that emotion, and there should be that subtle urgency sitting in there that talks on an emotional level to your reader. Okay, it's really important to just connect on an authentic emotional level and understand what would make people convert. So, depending on your business and service, your approach to creating subtle urgency and calls to action is going to differ. But for the purpose of this step, and because I know that many of you are coaches again, I'm going to give you a couple, 2 examples of awesome calls to action that people can use. And hopefully these calls to action will encourage you to brainstorm your own and to start adding that subtle sense of urgency in. Okay, so the first example, here we go. Okay, so I've got an example for a career coach, and the call to action for his or her blog would be, what are the obstacles stopping you from achieving your career goals? Book a time with me now and we'll talk it all through. So again, it's very subtle urgency, but the term book a time with me now and obstacles stopping you, that's talking about emotion. It's talking about acting now. It's really telling them exactly what to do. Okay, so again, you're eliminating distractions. You're giving them clarity. You are just telling them exactly what to do right now. Okay, it's really important. And the next example that I've got is actually one that I've used for an upcoming webinar. Stay tuned for details on that one. And my example is, if you're interested in boosting your website traffic, I'll be diving into the nitty-gritty in this week's webinar. Spots are limited, so sign up now. So again, see how the call to action really defines what the reader should do, and it uses that subtle urgency to encourage them to take action. Okay, so I really want you to give this a go. It's a little bit of a craft. You'll get there. It's just looking at the sentence and the call to action holistically and going, have I added emotion? Have I sold the benefits? Have I added subtle urgency? And have I also given them clarity on what to do and when to do it? So if you can create that kind of aspect into your calls to action, you are going to be killing it online. Seriously, all you need to do is just take practice with it and keep working at it. So your action points for step 5, which is the final point as well. Oh my God, that went quickly. So the action point is to create 2 calls to action that do include a subtle sense of urgency that you can use in your upcoming blog posts. And I want you to ask yourself, why should the reader convert? So I want you to show them in your blog copy why they should join you and why they should get to know you further. Okay, wow, that was awesome. I hope that I've really helped you out here. It concludes the 5-step formula now for creating blog content that converts. I do want to quickly recap for you the 5 steps because I know there's a lot in there. So let's do that. Oh, woohoo! You're now equipped with my 5-step formula. Alrighty, so step 1 is to add relevancy for your reader. So again, think about how is this affecting their life, what's going on in their life, how can I help them where they are, how can I meet them where they're at. Step 2, Use emotion to motivate, which is my favorite point because I just love selling the benefits and the outcomes. This is, the basis of good marketing. How can you instill a sense of desire within them as well? Step 3, build value and trust. So how can you create yourself as a person of influence? How can you put yourself forward so that people trust you and people see you online and they go, I really want to work with him or her? And how can you give back to your reader with valuable nuggets of inspiration? How can you just wow them over and over again and just keep them wanting to come back and read your blogs and sign up to your newsletter and buy your products and work with you? That's where it all comes back to, is just building that value and that trust, okay? Oh, and remember there as well, that came to my head, is that people want to work with people, not with brands. That's one of my favorite sayings, but they really do just want to work with people. So just connect on a human level at all times and be real and transparent. And you know what? People are going to just surround you quickly because people want to work with people. They don't want to work with fake brands who they can't get in touch with or they don't get an answer from. They just want a real human connection. Step 4 is to eliminate distractions and give clarity. So again, this is about guiding the reader through the blog. So really taking them on a journey and specifically creating your blog so that you are guiding them to their end destination, which is to convert further. Okay? And eliminate distractions. Just keep it simple and keep it to the point. And the final step is to add urgency and calls to action. So again, it's about subtle urgency. It's about playing on emotion. How can you encourage them to take action and want to know more? How can you help them if they convert? Okay, so always going back to the why. It's really important. But always go back to why they should know more, why they should convert. You need to make it really relevant for them. It's not about you, it's about the reader and it's about your audience. So I know there's a lot of info in there, but I really want you to just take it one step at a time, and you will get more natural at this as you go. Blogging is, it's a bit of an art form. I've been blogging for probably 10 years now. Wow, that's crazy actually. But yeah, I've been blogging for 10 years. So, at the end of the day, blogging is about representing your thoughts, your advice, and inspiring others to take action. It's about inspiring them to think deeper on a topic. And it's really about helping people learn, evolve, and make a positive change. So always keep your reader front of mind and keep asking yourself what is in it for them. So important, but just always remind yourself of that. Okay, gosh, we've gone through a lot, but I have a bit of time to answer some questions. I don't have much time, but I will try to get to maybe 2 questions. So if you can get those ready for me now, if you have any, that is, I hope you do, and then I can come back to them in a little bit while you're compiling them. So I just want to take a quick minute to also let you know how I can help you further with your online marketing. There's me again, want extra love and support. Basically, I have, as I mentioned before, I coach and mentor coaches and solopreneurs, and I help them basically with their online marketing and their website optimization, their social media, and their branding. So again, after 8 years in the game, I've seen it all and I really know what works to create a successful online business. And at the moment, I've got 2 options for you. So the first option, if you're interested, is a 4-week intensive package. So you'll work with me over 4 weeks and we'll Skype each other once a week, and I'll also give you a website review, a social media review, and we'll talk really holistically about your approach online, and we'll really get you going with your content marketing. And I also offer you hourly consultations. So if you want something a bit more flexible, or maybe you just want to trial me out for an hour, which is totally fine, you can book me for an hour and we'll brainstorm your current campaign, your branding, or your content marketing. And this is really your hour to use me to pick my brain and to get some valuable support and advice for your online business success. And if you would be interested in hearing more about these, I do offer a free 15-minute consultation, and I'll give you all my contact details here. So there's my website, my email, my Facebook, and yeah, I'll email you guys after the webinar anyway, so you can just respond back to me if you'd like, and we can talk about how I can help you further, which I'd love to. Okay, so we've got some questions as well. Okay, the first one is from Sarah. Hi, Sarah. How are you? Okay, Sarah wants to know, I've just started my life coaching website and I want to start a blog. How do I build my audience to start with? Okay, awesome. Go, Sarah. Go life coaching website. That's awesome. So, I actually get asked this question a lot. How do I build my audience? Like, where do I start if I only have my mum reading or my best friend reading the blog or my husband? It's a great question. And I actually just wrote a post about this. So, I can email you guys that as well, so that you've got that. But I would advise starting with actually defining the problem that you're solving in your blog. So what are you going to be blogging about and what's your niche? Okay, so get really clear on what it is that you're writing about and make sure that you're really aligned with your services as a life coach as well. And then the next step would actually be to kind of go out there and research your market, and your audience. Again, going back to getting to know them, asking them directly, running surveys. Maybe if you don't have an audience at all yet, you can ask your friends and your family who might fit into your niche, and ask them what they would want to read and learn about, okay? So again, use that technique of compiling the top 10 questions, concerns, or frustrations, and that is going to form the basis of your blog content. And if you don't have an audience and you're brand new to the blog, it will come. You've just got to be really, just be patient, okay? It will build there. But if you know that you're working with the right niche and you're talking to the right people, it will build over time, absolutely. And just as a final point as well, just don't forget social media because it's awesome. So start promoting your content, share imagery, share inspirational quotes. So if you don't have a blog yet, that doesn't matter. You can start sharing other content. Share other coaches' content from within your field. I find that's really good for building traffic on Facebook. And make sure that you've got all your social media accounts set up and just go out there, just get going. Just actually take action on it. I see a lot of people just hold back and they get scared and they go, "Oh, I'm not ready to do that yet," but why not? Just put yourself out there. So hopefully that helps, Sarah. But basically, you know what? You don't need an audience to start a blog. The audience will come. The blog is first. So get there, get writing, and just do it with love and do it with passion, and they'll come for sure. Okay, I've got time for one more question. I'll just have another sip of water so I don't lose my voice on you guys. Okay. Question is from Michelle. And Michelle asks, can you apply the 5-step formula to other content formats? Okay, awesome question, Michelle. And hello, and I hope you're doing well wherever you are in the world. The answer is yes, absolutely you can. I think I mentioned this at the start, but the 5-step formula can really be used in most of your marketing, okay? So you can apply it to your social media posts, you can apply it to your YouTube account or your podcast or your newsletter. It's really up to you. I created the 5 steps as a foundational approach to content marketing. So at the end of the day, they're about, the 5 steps really are about working on a deeper, authentic level with your audience. So I really encourage you to get creative and apply the 5-step formula wherever you like online. It's really a powerful formula that you can use wherever you go. So I hope that helps, Michelle. Thank you for your question. And I'm sad to say that's the end of the webinar. I'm really grateful again that you've all joined me. I hope that I've given you some valuable nuggets to go and implement into your blog and your digital marketing. And if anyone else had a question that I didn't get to, please email me because I'm happy to work with you privately to help you solve it and give you an answer. Okay, thanks again, and I will email you guys with the replay and all the info you need, the notes and everything. And I can't wait to share my upcoming webinar with you, and I'll give you the details on that very soon as well. So thanks again. Have a lovely day or night wherever you are, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay, bye guys.